Now, boom. Okay, we are now recording. All right, now we have that. All right, recording started right now. This is for August 27th, 2020. So first night of class, we have this. Okay, so anyway, getting back into this now, what we're going to talk about now is how this class all works. So I am going to record everything that I do in class. On top of that, I've already prepared a number of tutorials that I have out on a YouTube channel called BrennanCAD. Okay, if you just, I'll show you where it's at later. It's called BrennanCAD. So everything in this class is going to be navigated through Blackboard and through these different videos that I do, and then you're going to do the work. I'm going to give you assignments, you're going to do them, and that's how this class works, okay? So a lot of this is going to be kind of like understanding how to learn a language. It's like this. When I learned Spanish, they basically taught me a certain vocabulary. I remember in 7th grade, I had Mr. Balaam. And Mr. Balaam came in and he says, okay, Tom, the most important thing in Spanish is the accent. You've got to learn the accent. And so he taught us some things about the accent. And there's different kinds of accents. I don't know if you knew that. Does anyone out there learn, know Spanish at all, speak Spanish?
A tiny bit. It's been a while since I've used it.
Yeah,
okay.
here.
A little bit, okay, a little bit.
I took a few years of Spanish.
Okay, took a few years. Okay, well, here's the thing. When you learn Spanish, one of the things that you learn, first of all, is that there is not a, that basically you have to roll your R's, okay? Arre, okay? You know that right there? Arre. That is a big problem for some Americans. Because we're not, someone talking right now? If you're not gonna, if you don't mean to speak, please have your microphone muted. Other than that, feel free to speak. But yes, so you roll the R's in Spanish, that's one thing. So once you begin to learn these different languages, it's actually interesting because in Spanish, the letter A is always pronounced A. For those that don't know that, A is always A. The letter E is always pronounced A. All right, the letter I is always pronounced E. O is O, and U and U is U. Okay, always. They never change. So if you know A, E, O, U, you got that, and that's the Spanish vowel system. Okay, so once you learn that, you tie it all together. And Spanish is very logical. So the goal is to understand how to piece these items together. And as you piece them together, voila, you're speaking Spanish, okay? So if you have a word, you know, such as like, oh gosh, let's see here. T-A-C-O, all right? Taco, all right? So you got a taco, all right, like that. We'll use an easy one. But moving on along, you tie it together. Okay, so when you're learning Spanish, you have to learn the little bits and little pieces so that you can get something that makes sense. AutoCAD is a language, okay? Because essentially, AutoCAD itself is just one program. It's one program, but what you're doing, when you're drawing something, when you're doing engineering graphics, it's a language. So the language has bits and parts, it has elements, and we want to learn those elements. So what we're going to be doing in this class is learning what those elements are and how to access them through AutoCAD. That's what we're going to be learning here. So we're going to be learning how to do basics, like how to do lines, how to do circles, how to basically, once you've done these basic elements, how to move them, trim them, copy them, and so forth to make all this work. So actually, that's the goal of the course, to show you how to do this. Because the goal of this right now is not necessarily any particular engineering discipline, although we're going towards construction, so there will be some of that. But it's how to use these tools. These tools can be applied to any particular discipline. We are going to be applying them to architecture, and that's going to be the first part of the class, is learning AutoCAD. The second part is learning Revit. Has anybody out there heard of Revit?
No.
I have heard of it,
I've
but never
used it.
used it.
Okay, who's
I've heard of Revit, Rhino.
Okay, so
I took a class through RIT.
okay, all right. So you guys all have some. Okay, so Revit is familiar to some of you. Okay, to describe what Revit is essentially the Autodesk product that is specifically for designing buildings. Okay, so we're going to be getting into that. This actually gives you a good step forward because most architectural firms, construction firms in general, will be very happy if you know Revit. Okay, because construction, when we say construction, in this particular class, the course description, sorry about this, but it's actually kind of wrong because we're not going to be designing bridges and stuff like that. That's not really what we're going to be doing. We're going to be designing buildings. So it's CAD for construction. The construction is going to be essentially how to put together floor plans, how to do elevations of buildings, how to actually do sections, how to do all those kinds of things. That's really where we're going to be going with this. So anyway, if that's a deal breaker for anybody, that's okay. This is a 2-credit class. You're going to be learning CAD, and the particular item that we're going to be drawing is going to be architecture and nature. So that's kind of the deal right there. So is that a deal breaker for anybody right now?
No.
No, it's actually pretty cool to do it this way. I can tell you this right now. If you give yourself to it, you guys will really enjoy this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's my goal to give you the tools so that you can get to the point where you can actually make the stuff happen for yourself. Now that I've given you some basic idea right here, so there's going to be a lecture every night, and then there's going to be I'm going to show you how to do some stuff in AutoCAD. Then there's going to be assignment, and I have all this laid out very clearly for you guys. And I just got a hold of the CIS. I couldn't make it myself, but the CIS has actually been already put out here. But let me do this right now. Let me go here and let me do this. Let me go ahead and try to, if I can share my screen here. Let me see if I can share my screen with somebody. I think I can go through here. Let's see here. Not there. Let's see. All right. Sharing. Oh, screen sharing is paused. Okay, great. So I'm going to do a new share. All right. And what I'm going to share right now is actually going to be, oh, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go out to here and share this. Okay, so I'm seeing Zoom right now. Now, what I'm going to do right here, you're seeing essentially what you got here is the MCC website right now. You guys all have access to Blackboard. Okay, now, does anybody out there not have access to Blackboard yet? Cue the Jeopardy music. No, but okay, so I'm assuming all of you have access to Blackboard. That means when you sign in, and if you don't know how to do this, you know, you can kind of ask me on the DL. But the thing is, you should be able to do this. As long as you have a student ID, you should be able to log in and get into Blackboard. It looks like this. Blackboard looks like this right here. When you log in, Blackboard is this section over here. And here is the module for this class, okay? It looks like this. This is 2020, which stands for the year, and then 90, that's for September, CIT 112-185. This is what you see right here. So this is what we're going to be working on right here. So this is what we have happening. Now, what I want you guys to do, I'm assuming that most of you have your computer in front of you. I hope you do. So what I want you guys to do is right now log into Blackboard. Okay, log into Blackboard right now. And I want you guys to get out here to see this course. So Shane, do you have that right now?
Yes.
You have that. Okay, Nathan, do you have that?
Yep.
Okay, you got it. Okay, Kelly, do you have that?
I'm getting there.
Okay, you're getting there. All right, Shanna, you getting there right now? Are you there yet?
I'm there.
Okay, excellent. You guys are doing great. Okay, next, Julius, are you there yet? Can you hear me there, Julius?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, are you able to log into that?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Alex, are you logged into that?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Kevin, are you logged into that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, now that you're here, let me just kind of go over this and kind of just talk about what we're going to do here. So what we have right here is this is what the course module looks like. I am going to be using this. Blackboard's going to be very predictable. And so every week you're going to be able to understand what we're going to be working with. So let me show you how this works. Every week is laid out, and we basically have a week 1, week 2, week 3 kind of a thing. Okay, and so this is week 1. And so being week 1, we're just going to be laying down some information and so forth. So there are going to be some drawings due next week. They're not due today. They're due next week. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the way I'm going to work this right now. The drawings are going to be due at the beginning of every course. That means you have from the end of this course, from the end of this class tonight, all week long until class starts, okay, till 6 o'clock. So up to 5:59 and 59 seconds Eastern time next week, you can hand it in. If it comes in after that, then at that point, it's going to be considered late and it loses 10%, okay? So if an assignment is worth 100, and most of the drawings are worth 100, then that means it's only worth 90. Now, at that point, I will give you, after that, 1 more week to hand it in. If you don't hand it in after that, then you get a 0. That's how it is. I've learned, I used to actually have it where I just left it open to 90, and then I had a bunch of students last semester who really, you know, kind of ruined it for everybody because they didn't do anything, and then I had some students that wound up failing last semester because they left everything to the last day, and they thought, oh, this is easy, I can do it, and no, they couldn't do it, and they wound up failing. So I'm not going to let you guys do that anymore. So I'm going to basically just give you basically 2 weeks. That's plenty of time to get anything done. And at that point, if you're not done, then oh well, you tried, or maybe you didn't try. But if there's and here's the other thing too. I am a father. I've got 4 kids. I was a student myself. Even though I'm an employer now, I've been an employee a whole lot longer. I understand how things are. I get it. I've got 4 kids. I've got 3 are married. I got 8 grandkids. I got an adopted son. So I've got a lot of kids out there. I understand how things are. So if things get tough, if you've got to work, if you have family issues, just shoot me an email and say, hey, Professor Tom, Professor Brennan, I'm having this issue. It's this. And just let me know what's going on. I'll always cut you some slack. I always will. What I won't do is if you don't talk to me, I'm going to assume the worst, okay? So just talk to me. I'm really reasonable. I'm actually a real softie, and I'll pretty much let you do what you need to do. All right, but just don't hide. Just don't do that. Just keep communication going. Everything will be fine. That'll be good. Okay, so now that we're in here, next thing we're going to do is I want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen here. So what's due when? Now right up here, you're going to notice, can you guys all see this here, this red, what's due when? Can you guys see that there?
Yes.
Okay, so what you do is you click on that. And when you click on that, I have this sheet here. CIT 112, CAD for Construction, Fall 2020, and then it has what's due when. So next week, September 3, out of Blackboard, I've got an AutoCAD introduction quiz. I've got a CAD commands quiz. I've got a matching object snap marker quiz. And then I've got drawings A, B, C, and D. And you're going to submit as drawings in Blackboard. So those are things that you're going to do right there. Those are things that I'm going to want you guys to work on there. So that's it. So drawings A, B, C, and D, they're pretty easy. And that's it. So then September 10th, you've got Blackboard. So if you guys really know what you're doing, you can just start to get a jump on this and start to work on these, okay? Each one of these drawings, just about all the drawings, the major ones right here, I've got actually a tutorial for how to do drawing A. It's a video. I say step by step how to go ahead and do drawing A. And then I got another one. Drawing B is about the same, so I didn't make a video for drawing B. Drawing C is a little bit different, so I basically did a video for drawing C. So all this is out there on YouTube. You can access it at any time, and good videos, give you good information. And I've actually got a lot of people who hit these things. So that's what we have there. The following week, September 10th, September 17th, and so forth. When we get down here to October 15th, October 22nd, we're going to start getting into Revit. Okay, over here is where we start to work with Revit. And so there's going to be 3 Revit assignments. So starting in mid to late October, I'm going to start working on Revit. We're going to go in that direction, okay? And down here that the instructor has the right to rearrange and modify the schedule, okay? So that's what's going on right there. So that's going to be really plain. If I were you, I would print that out and stick it someplace so you don't lose it. That's what I would do if I were you. Okay, so that's because I'm not going to vary from this unless I have to. Last semester I had to because we had the whole COVID thing that went on, but typically I don't vary from it. Just because it's easier for everybody. I like to be predictable. This is a 2-credit class. It's not that hard, and I want you guys to learn this stuff. So that's the deal. Okay, so going back to this, I'm going to go back over to here. And what else is here? Well, here's the CIS, okay? And you guys get a CIS for every class. This is the course information sheet. Now, some of this is not really, some is just kind of boilerplate content. So we're going to go over it because, they've asked me to do that. So we'll go through this here. And looking at this, can you guys see this right here? This Monroe, can you guys see this sheet right here? Monroe Community College, Construction Technology. Did you see that sheet there? Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay, now here's the thing right now. We've got a couple things here. First of all, it's wrong right off the bat here. The day is Thursday. I didn't put this together, by the way. I don't have any control over this. There's some other people that do this to make it legal for the state of New York since I'm an adjunct. They do this, and I just kind of like say, I tell you guys what's going on. So here's what's going on here. This is the class. I do have my cell phone right here. My cell phone's right there. I do give it out. If you need to call me, you can. Just don't abuse it or I'll block you. So, but if you need something, you can call me. All right, now here's the catalog description, which is actually kind of bogus. Applications will include roof truss, not really. Concrete and steel reinforcing, well, some of that. Welding, site plans, yes. Contour lines, yes. Property lines, yes. And a few other things. Residential, house, and garage construction. 1 class hour, 3 laboratory hours. No prereqs. Course objectives, you're going to be using AutoCAD 2021. Now, here's the thing. I sent out an email earlier, and I said you guys need to download AutoCAD 2021. Let me stop here, full stop. Let me find out how we're doing there. Did anybody have a problem downloading the free student version of AutoCAD 2021? Any problems with that?
I'm doing it right now.
Doing it right now? Okay, who's that?
Dang.
Okay, great. Yeah, you want to do that. Anybody else have difficulty with it at all?
I did. I can get it downloaded, but when I open it up, it says I don't have a license for it.
Okay, what you got to do is they'll basically give you a student free license, okay? So as far as that goes, make sure that you use the link I put on there. I put a link did you get the link I sent you? I sent you guys an email and said, click on this link. Did you use that or did you use something else?
Yeah, I did use that link.
Okay, well, if you did that and you followed the instructions, it'll give you a free student license for a year without even asking. So if that's not
Okay.
happening, you probably did something different than that particular method, okay? I know it happens. My own son was working on this and he got into a thing where he was gonna start to buy AutoCAD. Don't do that. There's no reason to buy AutoCAD. This is free. There's no reason on earth why you should have to pay for it. If you have issues, you know, I would just go ahead and shoot AutoCAD an email, try to find out what's going on. But this works really, really well. You can also get a free trial version of AutoCAD for 30 days. Anybody can get that for 30 days, okay? But anyway, what you want to do is get the free student license. They're going to send you a free student license number. And then at that point, if it asks you for that, it may or may not. A lot of times, if you're doing the install, it automatically puts it in there. But they may send you an email separately, and then you would have to use it out of there and use that to paste into there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you want to do that. So AutoCAD 2021 is free. Revit 2021 is free. So you got all those things, and that's how that works, okay? So you shouldn't have any problem with that. And that's a good thing to know. Now, here's the thing. When you're working with AutoCAD and Revit in these free student versions, one of the things about it is that you do not want to start to use it professionally, okay? And here's the reason why. If they catch you, and I'm not saying, I just know people that got caught, okay? And then what happened is they were blacklisted and could not have their own license of AutoCAD anymore. And that's not a good result. You don't want that. And so just use the student software to learn it. And then when it comes time to get the software, either use your company's or buy your own license. I've got my own license. I've had my own license for 20 years now. So it's just something you want to have here. Okay, so the lab, the way this typically works is like here. As I get into class right here, I'm typically going to teach you guys for an hour, okay? Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes shorter, but it's going to be right around an hour. That's what it's supposed to be. And then once I've gotten into that, once today I probably have to go a little bit longer, sorry. But I need to kind of like get you some content so you guys can start to do this stuff. That being the case, I try to keep it as short as I can. And then after that, I basically turn the lab time over to you. It's 3 hours of lab time. Since you're all on your own, I'm not going to be a granny and make you sit here for the whole 3 hours. If your time is better spent doing something else and you're going to do it later, go ahead and do it. But I will be here until 10 o'clock to 9:50 to answer questions. I'll be here. I'll be available. If everybody signs out, which is totally cool. If you all sign out, then I'm just going to leave too. If you have questions, you can get a hold of me. So that's the way I like to run this. Okay, so we'll go down here. And as far as required materials, you don't need a scientific calculator. You don't necessarily need engineer and architect skills. If you have them, they're good to have. I'm going to go over that, but things have changed since we're not all in the classroom anymore. Okay, computer software, AutoCAD 2021 and Revit 2021, they're free. Blackboard, I just showed you how to use Blackboard, and we're going to get into this. We're going to be using this a lot. The grading, okay, typically this is how the grading works, the quizzes, and this is not approximate, but essentially this is actually not even all that accurate. When you talk about the homework and the project drawings, they're kind of the same thing, because what happens is what you do in the class and what you do as far as homework, it depends upon how you do that, okay? But that's going to be your time. But that's going to be about 80% of the class. The other is going to be some quizzes and class participation if you show up, okay? Letter grades are the standard. Attendance, obviously we're going online here. Don't miss the classes, okay? Now, if you miss classes for this, it's not quite so critical because I'm going to have videos for everything. I will post the videos, you'll have them available, and then you'll be able to go ahead and use those as you need to for your particular schedule that you miss. Okay, so anything you miss, you can go and pick it up with the video. So as far as that goes, I do expect you to be here unless you tell me otherwise. So I'm still expecting you to be here every week. If you can't, just tell me. I'm very easy about this whole thing. Just don't leave me in the dark. All right, so I'm planning on showing up. If you can't for some reason, let me know. You can withdraw, and if you're going to withdraw from the class, do it early so you don't lose your money. That's one thing I'll say here. If you withdraw too late, you'll wind up failing. Okay, so just be careful about that. I did this myself a few times. I didn't fail, but I actually found myself not doing well in the class, and so before I didn't have the time to do it, I would drop the class before it actually showed up, and I had to pay for it. So just be realistic about what your schedule is. Okay, this is. I want you guys to be successful. If this is not a good time right now, then, hey, no problem. Just recognize it earlier than later. Okay, so we're going to be doing this on instructional methods, lectures on Zoom, YouTube, movies, and videos, and so forth, class recordings. Okay, so I'm working with this right now. I'm doing these videos right now, and I've got these. I've got my own set of videos, so I don't really need the permission of the school because I got my own. I've done them outside of class. So I've got examinations and course requirements. This is going to be essentially, you're going to have some quizzes. Now the quizzes are essentially just reviews of AutoCAD commands. There's nothing really all that difficult about them. You should be able to walk right through them. You open up AutoCAD and all the answers are there. If you do more than that, you're doing it wrong. There's no reason why you should not get 100% on every particular quiz. There's no reason. If you don't get 100%, it means you're doing something wrong because I've made them very easy. It's just a question of making the effort. If you have any questions, please ask. Other than that, use of electronic devices prohibited. Yeah, completely prohibited. We're all sitting here looking into machines and phones and stuff. So hey, so much for that. So going on through here, there is no food, by the way, in class or in the labs. Okay, hey, go ahead and break that one. You guys can sit there and eat a burger and drink coffee. It won't matter to me. Just don't spill it on your keyboard. That's no fun. Okay, other than that, we've got all these things right here. There was tutoring available last semester. I've not heard about tutoring this semester. I'm willing to help you guys. If you have a question, shoot me an email, give me a call, let me know, and we can talk about it. I'm more than willing to help you. Don't cheat. That's it. Just don't cheat. I had some students last semester that had a situation where, and this is the thing, I'll just tell you something about what you can do here. When you're working with AutoCAD, one thing about AutoCAD, I'll show you something here. When you're working with AutoCAD, I will go into here if I can do this. I'm going to do a new share here, and I'm going to go ahead and share back in AutoCAD here. Now, if I go ahead and open this AutoCAD, can you guys see AutoCAD right now?
Yep.
Okay, so going to AutoCAD, I'm going to go open up this drawing right here. Now, when I open this drawing, this is classroom A, okay? Now, let me show you something here. This is something you might not know. But if I go right here, and if I click here, I can go and look at the drawing utilities, and I can look at the drawing properties. Now, the drawing properties right here, I get the general drawing properties. This tells me exactly when it was created right there. It tells me exactly the creation date right there. It tells me if it's been modified, and it tells me the size. Okay, so that's how that is right there. Okay, now here's the thing. I had two students that handed in files that looked very similar. So I looked at this, they were identical. They had the identical start date, and then it had the identical size. Okay, this is the thing. I don't really want to do this. I have better things to do with my time than looking up to see if you're cheating. Just don't cheat because I'll find out and I'll fail you. Okay, just don't do it. Okay, just act right. The number one rule in this class is act right. That's really all you have to do. If you act right, everything works out good. So that's it. We'll keep it simple, and we'll do this. And then I've got these statistics, and I can go ahead and find out all these kind of things here. Pretty cool stuff. So anyway, yes, there's all kinds of ways I can find out if you're cheating. I've been doing this a long time. I've been a CAD manager. I've been a CAD professional for a long time. So just do the work. You'll be okay. If you have questions, ask me. That's all. And just learn the stuff, and you'll be okay. Okay, so that's how we have that. I'm going to go back to here, and then go back to where we were, back into this right here. So back over to this. And now we're looking at this, and we have this information, and that's about it. And now as far as this goes, I've got the basics that we're going to be going every week, and I've kind of updated this. This is here. This is still current. This will actually work. There might be some tweaks to it, but that's pretty consistent. That's what I've had right there. So anyway, that's what we have. Okay, so that's the deal right there. And that is what we're going to be working on. Are there any questions about the CIS before we move on to the next thing? We good to go? Okay, let's do this. You've been listening to me for too long. Let's everyone just stand up, stretch. I'm going to just turn my my camera away from myself so you guys can't see me. I'm going to stand up, and I'll be out in a minute. I'll be right back in a second. I'm just going to pick up, I'm going to stretch, I'm going to come right back. I don't want to drive you guys crazy while listening to me for too long. So just get up, walk around a little bit. Oh, I'm going to give you a minute. So I'm going to count, we'll count it down. If you need to go grab a cup of coffee or a couple, some water or something, go ahead and do that. I'll give you a minute. We'll come back and we'll continue. All right. Okay. Okay, we're back at it here. Okay, so I'll try to put these breaks in here every now and then, so just to keep you guys fresh, because I know what it's like. Okay, so we'll try and make this all really as fun as possible. Okay. All right, now that we've done this, we've actually got rain coming through here. I don't know what you guys have, but I'm here in the Fairport area, and we got a pretty crazy storm coming in right now. It looks wild. So I don't know if I disappear, that's because we had a lightning strike a little too close. So we're going to go ahead and move on through here. And so there we go. So we got a pretty good idea as far as how that goes. And what we're going to do now is jump into here and go back over to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new share. And I'm going to go back to here. Okay, so back to Blackboard. So on Blackboard, I'm back to here right now. So what we did so far is we looked at the first sheet right here. So what you're going to want to do is I left this on the front here. So what to do when, you're always going to be able to find it. It's right there. Okay, now, so let's get into the content for tonight. So what are we doing for tonight? What we're doing for tonight is we're actually learning some basics of AutoCAD. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this stuff. And then I also have a number of different tools you guys can use to learn these, okay? Now, the takeaway is you have 4 drawings that are going to be due next week. A, B, C, and D are going to be the ones that you want to have right there. So I've got those right there. Now, as we work with the AutoCAD, let's see, I've got the AutoCAD Basics. Okay, so I've got a couple things here. I've got AutoCAD Basics right here. And, okay, one of the things I'm going to go over kind of quickly here is this. All right, you want to take a note. You want to write this down right here, because I'm going to start to show you some real AutoCAD stuff right now. We're going to jump in. We're going to start to learn AutoCAD starting now. Okay, so we've got this happening, and we're recording. I should have probably stopped it during that minute, but that's okay. It's only a minute or two. Okay, so going into this right now, you're going to notice that on this right here, This is actually CAD Basics week 1 right now, and I've got a number of different files in here. One of them is right here. It's AutoCAD interface tweaks. Let's go ahead and open that. AutoCAD interface tweaks. And when you click on it, it's going to open, and it looks like this right here. Okay, AutoCAD. Okay, I actually had a different one. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Go back to here. I should have had that. AutoCAD assignments. I think I had this in there a couple times. Looks like the new one didn't get posted yet. I thought it did. Let me look here again. AutoCAD tutorials. AutoCAD tutorials. Yeah, okay. Looks like the tweaks. Okay, that's okay. We'll just have to use what we have. Okay, so going back to the AutoCAD to class 1 basics. Okay, so what I've got right down here is I got the AutoCAD interface tweaks. I'd already opened this up here. Now, what this is talking about right here, when it talks about the tweaks, is when you open AutoCAD by default, there's some things you need to do here. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, we're going to go through these one by one because this is something you should always do with AutoCAD, because when you get AutoCAD and you install it 2021 right from the website, there's going to be a couple things that are missing that you're going to need. Let me show you what they are. So going back over here to AutoCAD, I'm going to go to here, go back to AutoCAD. Can you guys see AutoCAD okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you get into AutoCAD, what you're going to do is this. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to close out of this class 2A. Save changes, no. Okay, now let me show you a couple things here. This is what AutoCAD should look like when you open it up. By default, AutoCAD is going to look like this when you install it. Now, here's the thing. If you're actually dialing into the school and using a school copy, they may not have given you the Start tab. So in that case, to actually start something in AutoCAD, you would use one of these two items right here. You got New, which will start a new AutoCAD drawing, or Open. Those are the two you'd have, New or Open. And I've got actually some of each. So you got New and you got Open. You can actually use either one. Okay, so here's the thing. When you get into AutoCAD, we're just going to go ahead and go to New right here. We'll click on New. Now, when you start AutoCAD New, okay, watch this. You click on New, and this is what's going to happen. Now, let me stop. Full stop. What's going on here? AutoCAD is now asking you, it's saying, okay, select a template. Now, when AutoCAD asks you to select a template, that means that there are many templates available out there. For right now, we're just going to use this default template. This default template is acad.dwt. This has been the standard for AutoCAD for 30 years, since I first started using AutoCAD. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Open. Now, when you open AutoCAD, it looks like this. This is what AutoCAD looks like. Now, there's several things you need to make sure you turn on, which will not be on by default in AutoCAD. Let me show you what they are. So this is what I'm talking about as far as the tweaks. When I talk about the tweaks, I mean this right here. I'm talking about, where are they? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to go to here. Can you guys see this AutoCAD interface tweaks? Can you guys see that? Or you still see it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the customization. Okay, I've got a few things here. Customization. Number one is I want the coordinates to be on. Okay, so let me go back to AutoCAD and show you what they mean. What do I mean by the coordinates should be on? So let me go back to here. What does he mean by that? So go to here, share this. All right, well, first of all, down here, these are your coordinates right down here. You'll see the coordinates. There are a couple of numbers. When I move my cursor, it basically changes. This is your X and your Y value. Notice that down here at the lower left, you've got the X and you've got the Y, okay? You got the X and you got the Y down here. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So X and Y. So down here, can you guys see my red pencil right here?
Yep.
Okay, this is your X and Y. This is known as the user coordinate system or the world coordinate system. Please notice that X is on this red line and Y is on this green line, okay? They're different. So when you put in a value in AutoCAD, X comes first, Y comes second, just like what the alphabet, okay? So X comes first, that's horizontal. Y comes second, that's vertical. So when you're putting in a value in AutoCAD, it's like playing the game of Battleship. Have any of you guys ever played Battleship?
Yes.
Okay, if you played Battleship, then anyone else out there play Battleship besides me and Shane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, now what's Battleship all about? Battleship acts like this. Battleship acts like this. You open it up and you basically have a grid. You have a matrix, okay? Now the matrix, that's a fancy word for like for a grid. Okay, but what you got with the matrix essentially is over on the left side, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth down on the left side, or on the top, I forget which. And then on the top, you got the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the reverse, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So what would happen right there is when you pick a particular grid, a particular coordinate, it would be A1. And if we're going to use the example that I had right there, we'll just go ahead and say A is at the top and the numbers are down the bottom. So A1 would be the very first, and I don't know, I think I'm mirroring. I don't think I'm mirrored right now. Okay, anyway, that's okay. We can fix that later. So A1 would be the top left corner, okay? The top left corner of your particular of your particular matrix, okay? And then that is how you figure out your different points. AutoCAD works exactly the same way. AutoCAD uses a grid and you can actually make things work. Let me give you a quick example. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to see if I can't get rid of this annotation. How do I get rid of that? Can I annotate stuff? I think I can. I can clear it like that. Can I clear all drawings? Yeah, I can. Okay, so now that I have this right here, I am just going to go back and I'm going to just go to plain old no annotation anymore. All right, so I got that. So now what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to draw a line. Now, when you're in AutoCAD, you have these different commands up here, okay? Just to explain what coordinates are, though. So if I start the line command, which is right here, I can click on this, and it starts the line command. I click on there, it starts the line command. Now, notice it's saying specify first point. Now, AutoCAD says, where do you want to start, okay? So I could go ahead and I could say, oh, well, okay, let me pick a point. So I could pick a point, or I could specify a point. Watch what happens if I choose 0, 0. So I type in 0, 0, stop, full stop. Why did he put in a comma? The reason why is this. AutoCAD and every kind of coordinate type system is always separated with a comma. Always, always, always. 0, 0. 0, the first 0 is the X value, separated by a comma, then the Y value, always, okay? So 0 in the X plane, 0 in the Y plane, and then you get this. So then where's that gonna go? I hit 0, 0. Well, how do I make it, how do I pull the trigger? How do I make this command work? Well, what you do there is you hit the enter key. I hit the enter key and notice where it is down here. Now it's pinned right in the lower left corner right there. It's pinned right in that lower left corner. So now let's say I wanted to go 3 units over and 3 units up, okay? 3 units to the right and 3 units up. I'd go ahead and type in 3, 3 and hit my enter key. That's 3, 3 right there. Now let's say I wanted to go over to the right 3 units, but I didn't want to go up and down at all. Then what I'd do is this. I'd say 3, 0. Why am I saying 0? Because I don't want to go up and down at all. I'm going over to the right 3. I'm not going up or down at all. So 3, 0, hit my enter key, and it does that. This is how your coordinates work. Always an X and then a Y, okay? And you can control anything in AutoCAD as long as you understand that. That's an important thing right there. And then right there, I'm going to go up. And what I'm going to do right here is with it going up right now, you'll notice it's not locking in. It's kind of trying to get there. The reason why is there is a tool that is particularly used for this right here that's called polar tracking. I just hovered my cursor over the top of it. This is polar tracking. Polar tracking allows you to go ahead and to have this, to make your cursor go straight. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So when I click on this, this is polar tracking. I'm going to hover my cursor over it so you guys can see it. Polar tracking. Okay, polar tracking. Let's do this. Now watch this. I pull it straight up and watch what it does. Boom. Locks it in. Right now, at no time do my fingers leave my hands. Right now what's happening is I'm getting this dashed green line that's called a tracking vector. This tracking vector right now is telling AutoCAD to keep this constraint at 90-degree increments. Now, how far do I want to go? Well, let's just go ahead and say 5, and I go 5, okay, like that. Then I can pull it over here to the right. This is really easy. Type in 5 again, boom. And so working with AutoCAD is that simple. You just have to know how to control it. I just showed you some very important skills right there. So coordinates, you want to make sure your coordinates are turned on, which are right down here. So how do we do that? How do we turn on coordinates? Well, down here at the lower right corner of your screen, I'm going to go ahead and show you this again. The lower right corner of your screen is this down here. What do I want to do? I want to annotate this if I can. Yeah, I do want to do that. And so down here, if I can make it do that, come on, you annotate. And I'll go ahead and, yeah, let's use this. Down here at the lower right, you're going to see I'm going to circle this. Okay, see that right there? At the very lower right part of the screen, I have 3 horizontal lines. I got 3 horizontal lines. When I click on them, this is what I get. It goes into customization. And here are the different tools that you have available. So coordinates, you'll notice has a check mark. So mine's turned on, okay? So if you have it turned off here, you'll notice that it's gone now. You don't see it anymore. So you want to check mark in coordinates. Then you also want to go down here and you want to turn on dynamic input. Okay, right down here, watch this down here. Watch this as I click on this. Dynamic input turns that on and off right there. So I want to leave that on. And then the next one down here is, let's see here. What's the next one I have here? Let me change this real quickly here. Go to new share, and I'll go back to where I was, back to the AutoCAD tweaks, and I'm right back to here. And so I got coordinates, dynamic input, line weight, and units. Those are the 4 that I want turned on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to make that happen, going back and forth between these. And I'm going to turn on those 4. So back over to here, coordinates right here. And then I've got dynamic input. And then I have line weight. You want to turn line weight back on and off. So you want to have line weight on. And then down here, you want to have units on. Units is right here. Units is what tells me whether I'm using architectural, decimal, or civil units right down there. So we leave those on. Those are 4 things you want to have on, 4, okay? So those things you turn on. You make sure they're turned on, and you leave them on. Okay, now moving on to the next thing. What else do we have to tweak AutoCAD to make it work? And these are just the basics right now. We're going to get into using AutoCAD a little bit further. So then the next thing is the command line. By default, your AutoCAD will probably come in without your command line docked. So you want to dock it, and so it's actually docked. Docking means it actually fastens itself to the bottom of your screen. So you want to dock it. So we'll go back to that. So we'll go ahead and go to here, and we'll dock that. Now here's what I mean about saying what it's going to look like. By the way, you guys can see AutoCAD now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, what it's going to look like is this. It's going to be kind of like off of the bottom right here. Now, here's what I'm doing right here. Notice at the left corner of the command line right here, it has 2 columns of dots. And when you click, you can then drag it. You can click and hold it down and drag it to wherever you want it to go. So then at this point, if you drag it down to the bottom of the screen like this, you'll notice as I drag it down, it turns into a hollow rectangle. When it does that, you let it go, and then it docks. So you want to dock it. That's the next thing. Now here's the next thing. You want to have at least 3 lines of commands with your command line. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. So I got 3 right there. So you want to tweak it till it's 3. So that's the next step. Okay, so that's the next thing you want to do. Next step you want to do, and then we'll go back to here. So what else do we have here for the tweaks? So we did that, and then you want to show your menu bar. Your menu bar, you can actually show here. You can show your menu bar, and you can also show, there's another thing I'm going to put in here, and that is you're going to put in your layers. So I'm going to show you this right here. Your menu and your layers. So I'll show you this right here, and then I'm going to move on and actually start to do some instruction here. So we go to here, I'm going to go back to here. So what am I talking about that? Well, up here at the very top of your screen, let me see if I can't move this. All right, very much at the top of your screen, you'll see this. Can I move this? Let's see here. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can move that. I've actually got this thing right here. I don't know if I can move it. Can I move it? Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over to here. Okay, so now that I have this, if I click on this, please notice this. This is the quick access toolbar, and down here there are these different items on it. On the quick access toolbar, I'm going to have you guys do a couple things here. Number one, I'm going to have you turn on, let's see here, I've got the layers turned on right here. You will not have that turned on by default. So if you go here, one thing you want to do is turn on your layer right here. And the reason why is going to give you access to your layers no matter what part of your ribbon you're on. Just trust me, you want to do it. So the layer, that's what that did right there. Put that right there. Also in the quick access toolbar is this right here. You got show and hide menu bar. Right now my menu bar is hidden. If I go here, I can go to show menu bar and it opens up. So I've got those right there. So anyway, those are the basic elements to get you in the ball game for using AutoCAD. So that's how we get started. Boom, done. Okay, now the next thing I want to do right here is I want to actually show you guys something else. I want to go through this, and I'm going to go ahead and start this by going into a new share, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about this right here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about right here some of the basics of AutoCAD 2021. We're going to go through the essentials, okay? So right now, just take a deep breath. I'll try to get us going as quick as we can and move us on. So AutoCAD 2021, down to here. So we're going to get started with AutoCAD, and what we're going to do first of all, we just completed the basic initial setup of the drawing environment. We kind of had an idea. I'm going to describe the basic layout and what's going on, and then we're going to locate a few points and so forth. So let's go ahead and go through this. So we've seen right now that you can open up AutoCAD. Okay, so, and I don't know if you guys all have AutoCAD open, but if you do have AutoCAD, go ahead and open it right now. So I'll give you guys about 30 seconds. I'll just talk while you're doing that. So when you got AutoCAD open, you're going to have it, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to it. So once you open AutoCAD, it's going to look like this. You'll have AutoCAD right here. So AutoCAD will be up and running, and I'm going to erase this so it looks basically the same. And then what you guys are going to do is go through the tweaks I just showed you to make that work. Now, if you're still on the start screen, just go up to new, like we talked about. Go to new and start one from AutoCAD just to give you a blank drawing. That's all you have to do, all right? So now that we've got the basics right there, I'm going to show you some other things that are very interesting here. Now that you've got that, you've got the basics idea of AutoCAD. So now you're in it. Now you're kind of running around and not just like, okay, well, so what? Well, here's what. We're going to talk about a few things. First of all, let me talk about some of the elements that are actually out there. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to talk about this. And so I'm going to go back to here. And as you get into this right now, you've got the start window, which you should have by default. And then the next thing you're going to have is you have these different elements of the screen. Number one up here at the upper left is the application menu. That's how you access different file functions typically. So if I go, I'll show you what that does. I'll go to here and show you what the application menu does. And the application menu is up here. It's this red letter A. And we go here and it's got all these different items. Now, you will not see all of these if you're just on the Start tab, but you got New, Open, the Save floppy disk, the Save As, Import. This is how you import items into your drawing if you need to. Export. You can export items out as GIFs and PDFs and so forth, DGNs and other formats. You can do all that. You can publish, print, and here you got some drawing utilities. Part of these drawing utilities down here allow you to go ahead and to recover damaged drawings, and then you can also do things such as deal with your units and so forth. So you got all those things going on. Okay, that is your application menu. The next thing I want to point out that I'll go ahead and talk about here is over here. We talked about the application menu, and then the next thing we have is number 2, which is actually the drawing area and the crosshairs. We've got that. This is this whole area where you actually draw. It's where your crosshairs show up, and then you have prompts. And then after that, item number 3 is the drawing window, and then we have the quick access toolbar. So let's take those in real quickly. So going into here, back to AutoCAD, what you've got right here is this whole area where I'm moving my cursor. This is actually the whole drawing area, okay? That's all the screen for drawing. Now, what I've got going on right here is you'll notice that my cursor looks like a plus sign with a square in the middle. That's your cursor. And if I have a command going right now, watch this. If I start the line command, for instance, what I've got happening right now is you'll notice I've got a plus sign and a prompt at the lower right. I got a prompt there. So what's going on with that? The prompt is telling me what AutoCAD wants me to do right now. So it's giving me a clue. It's telling me exactly what I'm supposed to do. So it's a specify first point, and I can type in a coordinate if I want to, like I showed you before. Now here's something that's very important. Look down here. Down here where it says line specify point. What's going on down here? Well, what's happening down there is the same content is right there. And all this is being controlled by this. Please don't lock up. Please don't lock up. Oh no. Hello, hello.